Hey everybody! In Silksong, Hornet can use 6 different Silk skills: Silk Spear, Threat Storm, Cross Stitch, Sharp Dart, Rune Rage, and Pale Nails, and today I'm ranking all of them. But just like my other rankings, I'm not trying to convince anyone of which one is the best Silk skill. This video isn't going to help you get better at the game. No. This is a ranking based on how fun I think each one is to use. I'll mention some objective data like the damage and such, but only if it serves to illustrate my point. And I want to start by saying that I actually enjoy using every single Silk skills. Even the one at the bottom has merit, so this was a really hard ranking to make, especially towards the middle. Also, saying Silk skill repeatedly is very hard for me, so I'll just say skills or spells from now on. Silk skill, Silk skill, Silk skill, Silk skill. Let's get onto it with number 6.
You can't just have your characters announce how they feel! That makes me feel angry!
I want to love Rune Rage, I really do, but right now I only enjoy it. First of all, this is such a fun concept for a spell. The way the runes appear all over the screen is so cool, very reminiscent of First Sinner and Pure Vessel, and I'm always down to roleplay as them, because they are some of the best bosses of each game. Simply put, this is a badass spell. Sadly, despite how cool the idea is, I rarely use this skill because of how inconsistent it is. You can do a ton of damage with it if you hit multiple runes, because even with the diminishing returns of subsequent hits, it can potentially achieve the best damage of any spell. But that is the thing, if you hit it. This skill misses very frequently, especially against smaller targets that move around a lot, so even though you can do a ton of damage, in practice you often won't. This sucks because the targeting is completely out of your control, so it's not like you can solve it by getting good. You're stuck with this random and crappy targeting forever. And as if that wasn't enough, for some reason they decided to give it this long ass casting time. Why is Team Cherry like this? Why do they hate Rune Rage so much? What has it done to them? So yeah, Rune Rage has a cool concept and visuals, but a disappointing execution. Still, I get some enjoyment out of it, especially if it lands.
It's time to get good at the darts! It's time for everyone to get good!
Welcome back, Sharp Shadow. I honestly really like Sharp Dart. It's a pretty straightforward skill. Hornet torpedoes forward and does damage to whatever it's on the way, and I think it is pretty neat. It does pretty good damage, and I like how it is yet another movement option. In particular, it's very cool how people use it to get wings without clawline, even though people at this point have figured out how to get it without Sharp Dart too, and no Drifter's Cloak. And Deathless. What no Sea of Sorrow does to a community, I swear to god. I also think this skill has really nice synergy with the Witch Crest. Since it is a safer way of lateral movement compared to clawline, you can combo a Sharp Dart into a bind, taking advantage of the invulnerability frames you get after using the skill. There's a lot to like about this skill, but sadly there's a couple of flaws holding it back for me. Even though I like that it is a movement option, especially with the synergy it has with the Witch Crest, in most situations it does feel a little redundant. One of the best things about Silksong is how many movement abilities you get throughout the game, and after you get Clawline, there is rarely a need to use Sharp Dart for positioning. It's a nice addition, but not really vital, so I barely use it for its traveling. But the biggest issue I have with Sharp Dart is the short windup it has. Don't get me wrong, it's not nearly as bad as Rune Rage, but adding an extra barrier in the form of a long-ish windup isn't great, especially with how it leaves you wide open to damage. I still like this skill, it's fun using it, but because of its issues I rarely equip it, to be honest. And being frank, I just prefer the remaining 4 skills much more. Nonetheless, Sharp Dart is a pretty good skill. But before I continue, I have pressing information to share with you. Last time I showed you this League of the Sea of Sorrow DLC, showing us this blue crustacean. I theorized it would be a new boss, but turns out I was wrong. He's a new mode of transportation, similar to the Bell Beast or the Last Stag. While we can sigh a sigh of relief knowing that we won't have to fight this massive blue crustacean, our worries shouldn't go away. The new leak suggests that befriending the blue crustacean will cost a gigantic amount of rosaries, or doing a fetch quest akin to the Courier's Rusher, but even worse. Please subscribe to be on the lookout for further leaks and new information.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
The next 3 skills constantly move around for me between the 2nd, 3rd and 4th spots, but right now I'm feeling them in this order. Though honestly, it may change tomorrow, they really are that close. I just needed to decide on a ranking for this video. That being said, at number 4 I have Threat Storm, aka Hydrogen Bomb. Yeah, this shit is ridiculous and I love it. It is the strongest spell, objectively speaking. Without spamming it, it has the highest damage value in almost every situation, and spamming it, it has the highest damage value in every situation. Except if you get 4 hits or more with Rune Rage, but that doesn't count, shut up. And this crap used to be even stronger, but it understandably got nerfed. The way this spell melts both mobs and bosses in an area of effect no less is out of this world. Yet, they still managed to make it feel somewhat balanced, because even though it hits very hard, it also leaves you wide open to taking damage. Supposing you don't kill everything before they reach you, of course. This is even truer with the extra hits mode this skill has. If you spam the casting button, you get an extra 5 hits, though they are weaker and you are in danger of getting hit during a longer period of time. In that sense, this is a high risk, high reward skill, and it adds a lot more strategy and thought into what would be a mindless nuke otherwise. Because of that, this is my most used skill, at least whenever I'm going for a spell build. But regardless of how often I equip it, I simply have more fun with the remaining 3 sealed skills.
I'm so pale.
You're on it.
Hell yeah, I love my tactical missiles, so freaking cool. Pale Nails is arguably the most mindless spell in the whole game. You press the button and 3 nails home into whichever enemy is closer to you, doing fixed damage. There really is no skill required by the player to make this work. Literally the only thing you have to worry about is the very short casting time it has. There's no aiming, no positioning, nothing. What's really great about this spell is how consistent it is. Homing attacks in video games tend to be very inaccurate, or they tend to be very stupid when aiming, often crashing into walls or targets that you were not pointing to. But Pale Nails works properly like 95% of the time. Every once in a while one of the nails will miss, but for the most part all 3 of them land. Being able to constantly launch barrages of nails and watch the enemies melt away is extremely enjoyable. I don't like it for mobbing that much, since it is a single target spell, unlike my number 2 pick, but for bosses it is so satisfying to use. Its ease of use makes it great for any crest really. The synergy with the Shaman crest is obvious, since with full silk and vault filament, you are able to throw 5 of these in a short time, doing a whopping 525 damage, which is about a third of the health of most Act 3 bosses, allowing you to start off fights with a bang. And for other crests, it's a really nice, safe and ranged tool. Perfect for when you are at low health. It fits particularly well with those crests that have a riskier playstyle, like the Witch and the Beast crest. An extremely fun spell all around. Silk Spear is the most basic of all spells. Whenever you cast it, you send a spear forward. That's it. There isn't much more to it. You throw it, and it does area of effect in a straight line, and that's it. You know, it is very simple. Despite its simplicity, Silk Spear is an extremely fun skill to use. It provides what any solid spell should provide, range and good damage. I particularly like it for mobbing, because unlike the previous entry, you can hit multiple enemies with it, and it is great for cleaning up weakened enemies. I particularly love it in the early game. So many of the early enemies have exactly 15 health, which is the damage this spell does with no needle upgrades. So it works super well for those first few gauntlets you encounter. And late game, it still holds up very well, especially with the Shaman crest, allowing you to 1 or 2 shot most regular enemies. Like I said, I prefer Pale Nails for bossing, but considering how late you get that skill, I end up using Silk Spear for large parts of the run, especially early game. I don't have much else to say about this one. It's kinda perfect in its simplicity. And yet, there's one skill I like even more.
Whilst you were out partying, I studied the blade.
Am I bad at using this skill? Yes. Do I often get the timing wrong? Yes. Do I get hit half the times I try to use it? Yes. Do I still love it? Yes. Cross Stitch fucking rules, dude. It's one of the weaker spells in regards to damage, and added to that, you actually have to learn how to use it. You can't spam it mindlessly, but man, when it connects, it's just so damn satisfying. The animation is insanely badass, and so is the sound design of it. So sleek and fancy, I love it. Hornet truly is aura farming with Cross Stitch. Just look at her go, so stylish. And even though I'm still not great at using it, far from it, I felt myself get better with it. It has a great learning curve, and slowly mastering makes for a really fun challenge. It really helps with learning enemies' attacks in general as well. So as you get better with it, it also feels as if you're getting better at the game as a whole. What's really great about Cross Stitch is that the parry isn't limited to certain type of attacks, like melee hits. You can parry pretty much everything, projectiles, the enemies themselves, other parries, etc. If it has a hitbox, you can parry it, to the point of being silly. Like dude, what do you mean you can parry Nightdeath's Pollen? This skill is so funny, I love it. Cross Stitch, at least as a spell and not as a utility option, isn't the best Silk skill. It has relatively low damage, it requires skill to use it effectively, it can be very punishing if you fail with it, you have to be up close for it to work, and it is the risky skill to use, with the exception of Rune Reach of course. But man, I'd be lying if I said I didn't love it, and it is, without a doubt, my favorite Silk skill in Silksong. So, that's the list. Let me know which Silk skill is your favorite to use. I honestly like all of this, and I really hope they add more skills in future DLCs. To me it seems very feasible, especially considering that we aren't locked to a particular set of spells, unlike the first Hollow Knight. We'll have to wait and see, I suppose. As usual, subscribe, comment, like, and that entire algorithm jazz. Okay everybody, have a nice day.